Well, we go to the NBA where one former player says there needs to be more violence against European white players.
What the fuck?
Gee, and the NBA still wonders why their ratings suck.
Kyle, your facts are starting to piss me off.
I'm Jusuf Berganzo and this. So what's next?
And here we go.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Jusuf Berganzo, what's next? Your daily dose of common sense, facts, and salt. Hope you guys are doing well. I don't do much videos regarding sports. Most of it's done, in politics. But of course, politics has infiltrated and cancerified all the things we used to love. Me? Love the NFL. Hate the bullshit politics. Love the NBA. Hate the bullshit politics. And speaking of, one Draymond Green, who plays for the Golden State Warriors. Of course, he is a multiple NBA champion, along with, of course, their leader and future Hall of Famer, Steph Curry. Draymond Green, who has been compared to one Charles Barkley, which is, I think, a fucking joke. But recently, Draymond Green got into a little bit of trouble. During one game where he decided, hell, you know what? Guy's being a little too rough with me, and clocks him, knocks him down, gets tossed, and more than likely fined and suspended. But there are former NBA players, one particular, Gilbert Arenas, who thinks, well, I think there needs to be more European players getting slapped, calling for violence against white players, because there's not enough of that going around. What a prince. And here we go. This comes out of Outkick. Gilbert Arenas calls for Draymond Green to assault more European white players.
I've had enough of Draymond Green. I like Draymond Green.
That's what I need to know. Draymond Green, who was suspended by the NBA late on Wednesday, assaulted a player on the NBA court. On Tuesday, he smacked Jusuf in the face, and then he fell to the ground. Earlier in the season, Green put Rudy Gobert in a chokehold. No honest person can defend Green's actions at this point. So, insert Gilbert Arenas. Arenas played 12 seasons in the NBA. His most famous? A felony in 2010 after storing firearms in a Wizards locker room and reportedly pointing a gun at a teammate during a heated argument. He now hosts a podcast, because of course he does. And the podcast on Wednesday, Arenas admitted that he enjoyed watching Green knock Nurkic to the ground. According to Arenas, Green is just trying to get rid of the European players. Arenas said he hopes to see Green continue his violent crusade against the other Euros. Take a listen. Last night, Draymond Green slapped a white player, Jusuf in the face. Former NBA star Gilbert Arenas is calling for more violence against white players. Quote, taking care of these Europeans one at a time, do your thing. And of course, his co-hosts agree because, well.
So look, the Gobert choke was questionable but defensible because Dre was coming to protect Clay. This latest incident left many people scratching their heads. So just
was it questionable?
What do y'all think about the situation? And how do you react to this video?
They're laughing already.
Hey man, listen. I know what Dre doing. He's taking care of these Euros one at a time. You know what I mean, Dre? I can't, Dre. The media is trying to push these Euros on us, baby, and you choking and slapping them back. I get it, baby. Do your thing.
Yeah. Arenas added that on X, Twitter, that Euros are taking the league from our people and Green is fighting back. Gilbert Arenas is referring to white players and black players when he says our league. See the rise of European players that diversify the NBA, particularly among the branch of superstars. Nikola Jokic, a white man from Serbia, is the best player in the league. He's the reigning finals MVP. Luka Doncic, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, a white man born in Slovenia, might be the second best player in the league. And he and Jokic, are currently two former frontrunners, the two current frontrunners to win the MVP this year. Speaking of the MVP award, it was our league argument that cost Jokic the award last year. Jokic was a prohibitive favorite until March, when ESPN analyst Kendrick Perkins claimed black players in the NBA feel that white players win the award too often and don't deserve it. The argument was, of course, unjust when you consider that only 5 white players have ever won the award in the history of the league. Nonetheless, it was at that moment that the media started making cases for black players who objectively were not better than Jokic. Other former commentators like Mark Jones, of course, is a known racist on ESPN, Bomani Jones, another one, and Dominic Foxworth, another one. You know, they got a plethora on there on ESPN, and that's why no one really watches them. Siding with Perkins and rooting publicly for a non-white player to win the MVP. The NBA media ultimately awarded, they bent the knee, they grabbed both ankles, and awarded Joel Embiid, who, like I said, he plays for the Philadelphia 76ers. I love the Sixers. Joe Embiid is an amazing player, but it's called merit. You got to win on your own. And Joel did a hell of a job garnering those honors. So it's kind of bullshit. But anyway, Draymond Green ejected after the flagrant foul, if you didn't see it. Wait for it. And there it is. Perkins made the same case that Arena's making now. There are black players in the NBA who are territorial about sharing, quote, their league with white players. We can't say how many black players feel this way. Neither Perkins nor Arenas have specified in their feeling a pervasive or reserved for a small group of anti-white racists playing in the NBA. Either way, we know those feelings exist. And phrases like the Euros are taking over the league are code for white players stealing our game. The belief is obviously racist. Professional sports don't belong to any race. What's more, the NBA thrived on the 2 best players that were Magic, who was black, and Larry, who was white. But evidently, Arenas and Perkins wished not to see the diversity return on top of the league. Arenas encouraged Draymond Green to assault more Euro players, but specifically, he was calling out for more violence against white players on the court. The fact of the matter is that Gilbert Arenas was a decent player in his time. He wasn't even ranked at the top 10 when he was at his peak. But yet, for some reason, Gilbert thinks that he is the authority when it comes to the NBA. And sadly, when you have his guys on that podcast who are in agreement, you would have thought there would have been at least one. There were 4 of them on there. Gilbert was one. You would have thought there would have been at least one who would have said, yeah, about that. No, he would have had his box with him as he was escorted out of the building, and you're fired. But this is absolute nonsense. Like I said in the beginning, Draymond Green, for those who think that Draymond Green is as good as Charles Barkley or as good as any of the NBA players in NBA history, even if you go top 25, he doesn't even crack the top 25. Draymond Green doesn't even crack the top 50 greatest players of all league, or even the top 75 greatest players of all league, which, by the way, Reggie Miller was just made one currently. But this is absolute bullshit and nonsense. The NBA should squash this immediately. Commissioner Silver should come out and basically say, listen, this stuff that Draymond Green did will not be tolerated in the league. It's not your league, it's our league. We are the NBA. Not black players, not white players. We are the NBA. And I'm just saying, this shit needs to be squashed. Because again, it perpetuates the other nonsense and trashery that's going on in our country currently. And in sports, we just don't need it. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And we'll see you next time. Peace.